What's up, Dragon Nation? I'm Rich with Dragon Nation Gaming. Welcome back to Space Engineers. I think last episode we were building the flatbed, weren't we? I can't even remember. So trying to build the base, I've been going to a lot of abandoned settlements and trying to get resources that way, and it's taken me a really long time. So I decided it's time to stop that nonsense and go ahead and do things the old-fashioned way by getting my ass up into space, going to asteroids, getting some resources, and just bringing it all back down to the surface of the planet and building that way. So we turned on refineries. Refineries are back on for those people who want to go ahead and process materials, and I need to figure out a ship. Now, I do have one ship that was pretty good at getting me into space. Now, it's not very big, doesn't have a whole lot of storage, but it will get me there. Problem is, it's been a couple years since I built it, so I have to, well, teach myself how to build the damn thing again. Let's go ahead and get this started. Alright, so we are in creative, mostly because I can't remember how to build this thing. It's gonna take me a minute. One thing I do need to do is we need to go ahead and raise that piston. Get a little bit of room to go ahead and build. Let me reverse. Oh, it might also help if I put some power on this thing. I completely forgot. Anyways. So, battery right there. That should be good enough. Alright, now that we got ourselves some room, we need to start figuring out all of the stuff that we are going to need for this ship. So, of course, for any survival situation or any survival ship, we're going to start with a survival kit. Now, I'm going to try to make this ship as small as possible, so it's only going to have the basics. So, a survival kit, which we'll have to go up into space and we'll have to mine stone for a little while. But that'll be okay. It won't take too long. Now, I think what I need to do is the large access point for the survival kit needs to go upward. And then I need... There we go. So this is going to be the top of the ship, so I need the survival kit, the access for it, to be pointed towards the top. So just like that. Alright, now here's where things get a little bit difficult. I got a survival kit, but now I need to think about how to get this thing off the planet. We're going to have to use hydrogen thrusters. We are on a planet. Per Tim, I think the sphere of influence, the, what's it called? The magnetics. You can get outside of the planet gravity at 20 kilometers, I think it is. So we don't need a whole lot. But one good thing to use is atmospheric thrusters, so that way you can at least get to a point where your hydrogen thrusters will be a lot more useful. Less gravity to fight against, and less atmosphere as well. So what we're going to need for that, for the hydrogen thrusters, of course, is we're going to need storage. Now, if I remember right, which I don't, I think I had 2 of these. Now, all I need to do is make sure the access points are matching, which is sometimes easier said than done. I think right there, are we aligned? I think we're aligned. We're going to go ahead and put 2 of them, so that way we can make sure we have a lot of storage. So what I'm going to have to do is there is going to be a point where are those filling up automatically? They do that in creative? I had no idea. Let me check. Hold on. Okay, no. Just when you spawn them in, or when you build them, or when you place them in creative, they come 50% full. Well, at least that'll give me enough to at least test this thing and make sure it will actually work. Alright, so now that we got our hydrogen storage, what we need to do is once we get into space, we need to be able to move around a little bit. It is probably better to take the survival kit with me when I find resources, or at least some storage. So I might have to move this thing from asteroid to asteroid to find the resources that I need. So that's why we're going to do 2 hydrogen tanks. And I also... we don't need a whole lot of thrust. This thing is not going to be too heavy, but we are going to need the storage for some ores so we can bring it back to our base. So cargo container. Let's go with large. Alright, now what I need to do is I need to make sure I have large access for the connector that I'm going to put on this thing. I also need to make sure large access on the top and the bottoms so we can connect to the rest of the stuff we need to put on this thing. Alright, I think that's right. Yeah, so we could really connector right here so we can connect it up to a base to either refill with hydrogen or to get power to it. Now I'm trying to remember everything I did to this thing. Alright, so the next thing we need to worry about is O2H2 generators, because once I get up into space, I'm going to start losing oxygen pretty damn quick. So I need to be able to process the ice to get me some hydrogen and oxygen. So I need an O2H2 generator? Yeah, that's right, that's what they call them now. Alright, then we need to make sure the large access is connected to the cargo container. Then I'm going to have to put in a second one because I need to be able to connect the cockpit, which has a large access point. Right now all I have facing up are the small ones. So we're going to have to turn it like this. So now we have a large access point. Alright, now I need the cockpit. Did I? Oh, I didn't even put a C in there. What? There might be something up with my keyboard. Okay, there is definitely something up with my keyboard. There we go. Alright, so we're going to be using the fighter cockpit, and as you can see, it does have a large access point in the back. That's why I needed large access from the O2H2 generator. And there we go. Alright, so that's the main structure. That's pretty much all I need for survival. It would be nice to have... would I be able to do that? I wonder. Well, it would be nice to have 2 O2 generators, but I don't really need them. Hold on, let me see. So, oxygen tank. I don't use these very often. No, you know what? Let's just keep the O2 generators because I do need to be able to process ice into hydrogen pretty quick to fill up those tanks if need be. So I don't think we really need an oxygen tank. At some point I'll get the tanks you can carry on your personal inventory and I'll just use those. But now what we need to figure out is we need to figure out thrust. And if I can remember correctly, we would use hydrogen. Let's see, small one, there we go. And I'm just going to connect these ones right here, directly to the hydrogen tank. Yeah, that should work. Alright, now what I need to do, I gotta figure this one out. This one's going to be a pain in the ass. I need to be able to put thrusters on the bottom. I need a large thruster in order to break the gravity of the planet. Or break free of the gravity of the planet. So I'm going to have a large one right underneath the survival kit, but I still need connections for it. So what I'm going to do is going to bring our conveyors here. Now the large thruster is a 3x3, I do believe. So we need to connect it just like that. And the other side as well. That might work. Maybe. I think it'll work. Alright, so we can put a large thruster on this thing, but once I actually get into space, the large thruster is going to be a little bit overkill. So what I need to be able to do is turn off the large thruster and use small thrusters. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to the small and put one here and one here. And once I do actually get the large thruster, we can go ahead and switch that all out. I might have to turn those off. Maybe. Let's do that. Alright, so thrust. We'll go ahead and turn these off for right now. There we go. Alright, so far, not too bad, but one thing we do need to figure out is... Well, first I need power, and then I need gyroscopes. So let's go... since thankfully we do have these new batteries, the small batteries, they don't have a lot of power, but for something this size, they should work. And then I'll also add another battery here pretty soon, once I figure out a location for it. Alright, then I'll add more batteries once we get everything else completed, so that way I can figure out where I can put them. But for right now, I do need a gyro. Gyroscope. There we go. Alright, that's too big. Right there. So I think I should only need 2. Maybe 4. No, 2 should be fine. I think we'll be good. Alright, so the next thing we need to talk about is I don't want to use hydrogen if I don't have to, because once we get into space, we're going to need a lot of it. So if I could use atmospheric thrusters for a short amount of time, it will save me a lot of hydrogen. Also, one hydrogen engine, I don't know if that will be powerful enough to get me out of the field of gravity of this planet. So yeah, probably atmospheric thrusters. So what I want to do is once I get into space, I'm not going to be coming back down. So I only need atmospheric thrusters for a short time just to get up into space, or get as high as I can with them. So I want to be able to detach them because they're just going to be extra weight. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a merge block. And we're going to use merge block to detach them when we no longer need them. So I'm going to put one here. One on the other side. Rotate, please. There we go. I think this will work. Alright, now I need the merge blocks to connect to it. And on the other side as well. Now I could go ahead and connect the atmospheric thrusters to that merge block, but making sure I don't connect it to the one next to it, or it's going to be connected to the main vehicle. So G, Atmo. We're going to go ahead and use the large ones. And so far I think I've figured it out. I think I remember how to build the thing. I mean, I haven't built this thing in like 2 years, 3 years, somewhere in between. So yeah, the fact that I'm actually still remember how to do it is awesome. Alright, I think from like the Earth-like planet, you do require a lot of thrust to get this thing off the ground, especially if you do have resources in the cargo container, which I will. I'm going to take some components up with me just to make it a little bit faster. But yeah, it's only a large cargo container for a small grid, so it's not going to be a lot. Alright, then we need another atmospheric there. And so far, I think we're good. But one thing I am going to need to do is I need to get rid of the piston, or disconnect the piston, so that way I can go ahead and put the large hydrogen thruster in the position that it's going to sit. So what I'm going to need is, I need some landing gear. Let's see, I think all I did, if I remember correctly, is I just put like 4 legs right here. And like that. And then just put down some landing gear. And that should keep me stable enough to go ahead and launch this thing. Right here. And then what I need to do is I need to go ahead and put the other 3 on, which might take me a second. I should turn on symmetry, but screw it. So far I think we're good. So yeah, I still need the legs. Let's go ahead and put those on real quick. So 1, 2, and then here. Now I need to rotate. Other side. Then I need to turn off auto lock on those landing gear because I don't want them to auto lock. Then over here. And here. Now I can go ahead and put in the other landing gear. And come on. Motherfucker, come on. That way. And the same with you. Alright, I think that's all four. Let's go ahead and turn off auto lock real quick. Control panel, find the landing gear. Turn off auto lock. There we go. Alright, so now I should be able to disconnect this thing without it falling down, and I should be able to place the other thrusters. But let's go ahead and reverse that piston, if I can find the damn thing. There it is. Let's reverse. And disconnect. Alright, so now I should be able to place the large thruster. Now, the large thruster has some weird access points, or connection points, whatever you want to call it. This one? Yeah, I think it's that one. So it does have a large access point on the top, and then it has small access on all four sides. That's why we needed the conveyor junctions to come all the way down. Just like, okay. I need to turn off that thruster before this thing takes off. And it looks like the hydrogen is completely full as well. Alright, so large. Okay, this this keyboard. Alright, let's go ahead and shut that off. Are you still trying to gain altitude? What's going on here? You should not be floating. Space engineers, you gotta love it. But I am going to need a little bit more thrust once we get up into space. So since we do have an access point that is connected, like we're connected to the hydrogen tanks from the access on that side, so we can actually add conveyor junctions on these sides, or just regular conveyors if that's what you want to use. Grab the small thrust, and that should give me... Alright, would you make up your mind? Do you want to float or do you not? And there. Okay. Space engineers gotta love it. Alright, then we need... So we have forward thrust with those thrusters. The large thruster to get us off the planet. Then the small thrusters to get us around when we're in space. We have... up, down, left, and right. So now the only one we need is reverse thrust right here. I do need to bring this up a little bit so that way I can put some armor and make it look decent. And then I need another thruster. Come on, connect. Okay, stop doing that shit. That scares me every single time. I think the whole thing is going to take off. Alright, so I think all of the mechanics are done. I just need to figure out where I'm going to put some other batteries. Maybe put some armor on this thing. Oh, there is one thing we did forget. Or two things, actually. I need a connector. So that way I can connect this up to the base in survival and fill everything up. So recharge the batteries, fill up the hydrogen tanks. So there's our connector, and I'm going to go ahead and add a large battery, because for a little while, until I get some solar panels up, this ship might be our only source of power for a little while. But I think that's it. Yeah, I think we're good. Just find places to add more batteries, put some armor on it, and then we could go ahead and test this thing out and see if it's going to fly. Alright, so I think I have everything placed. I think we're good to go. I set it up the way it would be once I get this into survival. So the hydrogen tanks are on stockpile, so that way I can suck the hydrogen gas, the hydrogen from the base to the ship and store it. And then I also put all the batteries on recharge, so that way we can make sure that they are charged. I did figure out that it would probably take me, with all the batteries that I have on the ship, it'll probably take about 5 hours to recharge all the batteries. Because the only thing I'm using right now are the wind turbines, and I only have like 5 of them. So yeah, that's going to take a while. The hydrogen, once you put it on stockpile, it goes really quick. It fills it within a minute or two. Let's see, anything else? All the thrusters are turned off. So yeah, all I have to figure out is a way of connecting the ship up to the station, which won't be very hard. I just have to use a bunch of pistons. But yeah, let's see what we have to do in order to get this thing started. So I was messing around a little bit. Yeah, I still have these set up. I was messing around a little bit to make sure I was getting everything done correctly and that I got all the groups and everything set up. So we're gonna start over. So that way I can make sure I think I got everything that I need to get this thing moving. So we're going to go down to the groups. The first thing we're going to do is I need to be able to turn the batteries off of recharge. So recharge on and off. Then the second thing that I need to do, the hydrogen tanks. I need to turn those off of stockpile. Stockpile on and off. Alright, then the atmospheric thrusters. We need to turn those on. Then atmospheric thruster increase thrust override. That's so we can save some power. I probably won't need that. I should probably take it off. The atmosphere on Pertem is so low that I will only be using those for like 10 seconds. So I really don't need a thrust override. All I need to do is go forward. Yeah. I don't think I need that. Alright, so all we need to do is turn the thrust on, and then I'll just push W for forward until we get to a certain height. Then what I need to do is the hydrogen thrusters, I need to turn them all on. So toggle blocks on and off. Alright, then it gets a little bit sticky. So the only thing that I need to use to get us out of the atmosphere and get us into space is the large hydrogen engine, which, let's see if I can find, I think it's this one. Yep, that's the only one that I'm going to be setting thrust override on. So we need to increase the thrust override and decrease thrust override. And then at the same time, we need to go ahead and disconnect the atmospheric thrusters. So toggle block on and off. All that will do is shed a little bit of weight, so that way it doesn't cost us as much fuel when we're in space, because this ship will not be coming back down to atmosphere. And I think we're good. I think that's all we need, I hope. So atmospherics, hydrogen. Yeah, I think we're good. So let's go ahead and try to get an outside view so we can actually see what's going on. Alright, so turn on all batteries, or put them on auto. There we go. Turn the... let me make sure they are on. They are on. Turn off stockpile on the hydrogen tanks. There we go. Turn on atmospheric engines. There we go. And now we're just going to go forward with W. Get full power until we start losing thrust, and then we'll go ahead and start turning on the hydrogen thrusters, which is 4. Get us a little bit more speed, and then once I feel safe, we can go ahead and discard the atmospherics. Now we can go ahead and do the thrust override on that large thruster. Increase. Alright, so we're starting to gain speed, so we can go ahead and bring it down a little bit more. There we go. And every time we... Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Wait till it starts going back down, and then it should start going back up, so we could go back down with the thrust a little bit. Now, for Pertsam, I think we need to get to an altitude of 20 kilometers, if I'm not mistaken. So, just keep hitting the thrust override down. Oh, no, that's a little too fast. Losing speed a little too fast. There we go. Shit, I should have put down a beacon or something so I can see what altitude I'm at. So 6, we can go down a little bit more. That's still going up, so we can go down a little bit more. We're at 96 kilonewtons so far. And it looks like everything's working great. We're starting to gain speed again, so we can go down a little bit more. Alright, so what we're looking for is we're looking for particles that will fly past the ship. That'll let us know that we are in space. Don't see them yet, so this might take a second. Alright, just watching my speed. It's starting to go up again, so we can go ahead. Oh, that's too fast. Give me a little bit more thrust. Okay, a little bit more. Nope, that was wrong one. 5. I was hitting the wrong shit. There we go. Alright, we're not in space yet. And what's smoking? Do I have something damaged? I shouldn't have anything damaged. I guess we'll check here in a second. Alright, let's go ahead and bring that down with 6. And slowly oh no, we're gaining. There we go. We're slowly losing velocity, trying to save that hydrogen as much as possible. Alright, we're starting to get to the point where we can see asteroids, so we are at least out of the atmosphere of the planet. Now we're just waiting to get away from the gravity field. Right now the planet gravity is at 0.07. I think it needs to get to 0.05 before we are out of gravity. I think it's 0.05. It's been a while, man. So, cut me some slack here. We're still losing velocity. There we go. Now we're gaining. So yeah, it looks like the whole thing works. But we're not in space yet. Come on, baby. Get me in space. There it is. Alright, now we can go ahead and turn off the thrust override by hitting 6 until it says disabled. Now we need to turn around, get those big thrusters in the back so we can go ahead and use those to slow down. And then I need to figure out where the smoke is coming from. Something got damaged and I have no idea what it is. Alright, come on. Which way are we moving? Trying to slow it down. There we go. And I don't see any smoke now, so it must have been thruster exhaust. Yeah, I don't see any damage. I don't hear any damage. That sound is a little bit worrying. Alright, as long as the survival kit is not damaged, we're good. So yeah, it looks like the whole thing is going to work. So the next thing I would do is find myself a nice little asteroid to start on. Kind of like that one over there. I would just go ahead and bring the ship over to that asteroid and then get started. So first thing I would want to do is go ahead and get stone, put it in the survival kit and get that process so that way I can start building up. Build a little base to get me started with solar panels for power. But yeah, I think next episode we'll go ahead and start talking about that. But I did go ahead and I did fill up the large cargo container. I just wanted to put some weight in it just to make sure that we had enough thrust to get us into space. And this is everything that I probably will have in survival. So yeah, like I said, what I need to do is I need to get this built in survival. Then I need to go ahead and get it connected to the base so we can go ahead and fill it up. And then I'll get myself to space and find an asteroid. And then we can go old school with it and start processing asteroids to get the resources we need to build our base. Then what I need to do is I need to figure out if I want to process stuff down on the planet or if I want to process it up here. I have an answer for that. Drifter, in his infinite knowledge, decided to go ahead and add a mod which adds drones. So space is not safe. It really isn't. It's I don't have that mod on this created world, but on the survival world, yeah, you'll get attacked immediately. So I gotta be quick. Once I get this thing up into space, I have to be really quick with getting everything set up. Try to get up a turret, so I do need to make sure that I bring ammo with me. That's one thing I did forget. So yeah, I'm gonna need turret ammo. I'll get that all figured out. Then I need to go ahead and get established quickly. Then I'll bring stuff down to the planet to process. Because since it's not safe up here, it's probably not a good idea to have this big ass base with a lot of resources and stuff like that, because then I'll lose everything if I get attacked by too much. But yeah, we'll have to see how that all works out next episode. Until then, make sure to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.